and that's more of like OG, and we just like, we'll feed Miracle a double kill and just be like, damn it. But MVP, they're just in, and then we can be like, hell yeah, like let's do this. It's just fun, you know? It's just good stuff.
All right, well, we'll see what game number 2 has planned for us as the draft is already underway.
10 seconds remaining.
And quick to ban out that lone druid, MVP Phoenix. Not going to let that one into the hands of Miracle.
With Fearing gone as well, and this time around as well.
Yeah, we can assume, by the way, I believe, OG has first pick this game, so I'm fairly certain that the coin toss winner chose first pick, and then the other team chose Dire, obviously. It's been kind of switching off in preference for a lot of teams. Some first pick, some not.
Yeah, you guys got Dire twice in a row, right?
Yeah, the VP actually chose second pick.
First game, yeah. They won
the
the
very
toss.
first game.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I heard what the second game was.
Yeah.
I did not hear that.
Yeah, exactly. So we were very confused. We just took Dire, and then
first pick Dire, okay.
Yeah, and then second game we were just like, okay, we'll take Dire. See if they'll give us first pick again, but they didn't. But yeah. Anyway, about this draft. So Lone Druid and Earth Spirit ban. I agree with those 100%. OG is gonna first pick OD, which is mostly I think to deny it from MVP, but I do not think that hero is first pick material. It is far too easy to exploit, and there are hard counters to OD.
It's a pretty good hero, which is not a first pick, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's also, if I'm not mistaken, it's like an exclusively Miracle playset, right?
Yeah.
So that makes him a lot more predictable as well. That's it. Like that's what I feel is somewhat of the strength of the OG. You don't know whether No-Tail or Miracle is going to play mid, and like what kind of hero they're going to play.
To go off that, one of the reasons the Lone Druid's so good is because they can have both Moon and Miracle play it, and it can be played in any lane.
It's really good with it too.
So you have a situation where all three of your cores can play one hero. As you're saying, you know, OG, traditionally Miracle's going to play it, and there's the Lion Eng pickups. I love that. They're going to go IO. We actually opened exactly with that, I think, game 2 against Alliance at the previous major. I like the opener. They're most likely going to be looking for a Mirana, which we can expect to be banned, and it's not bad, but I actually, once again, favor MVP's opener. What do you think?
Yeah, I favor MVP's opener as well. I think the Eng is just so good with this meta, and it's like a really good hero for them. I think, although I think they play it a lot more in the offlane, but I think it could do a lot of work. It sort of, it matches up well against IO and OD, I'd say.
Like OD, the way you deal with that hero, in my opinion, is his whole hero revolves around auto attacking. So if you can disrupt that, mischance, CC, Enchantress passive, things of that nature.
Right.
Yeah. That just nerfs the hero significantly because like the whole hero is hitting you with Q and getting off a big hammer. And obviously the Mirana combo is big too. They banned the Brood here.
I'm not sure if OG would pick Mirana though.
I mean, I don't know. It's just so good. It's also, I really like it against the Eng. It's potential. I mean, in NA Dota, they're taking Mirana. 100%.
Yeah, I get Mirana is a good hero here, but I just don't know if that's like the fly hero, you know?
Was that something you guys picked up from, what was it, Infamous or Elite Wolves, or did you guys do that first?
Dude, we had to ban Mirana against E-Wolves.
Oh, yeah, I know.
In like 3 LAN qualifier finals. We would scrim them, and they would take Mirana and be like, shit, I forgot about that. And then we'd lose. I'd be like, all right, I'm ready this time. We'll play against it. And we'd lose again. And we're like, all right, none of this.
But that came from South America first, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Somewhere.
Because that's what I remember thinking at the Shanghai Majors, going from South America to you guys, who then take it on the main stage in Shanghai.
That's a big reason, again, why having, as a team, playing against a bunch of other regions is helpful. So for the first year and a half, we had Tier 3 NA Dota in South America to learn from. And then you come to these events and you suddenly have like MVP. You know, they're from a region that everyone's been writing off for forever, pretty much. And they show up here and they play like a really solid, fresh style of Dota. That's one of the reasons I wanted to play them, because it's just a really interesting game to me, in my opinion. I really respect the way they play, and I just think it's fun. I want to watch MVP play, you know?
Yeah.
They're taking a lot of time, by the way, with this last ban. It's really interesting. I'm not quite sure what they're thinking about here, but they're very afraid of something. What do you think they're banning, Simon?
They banned the Spectre already. I'm not sure. Yeah,
PL.
PL was probably like they're debating whether it's a ban or not.
Another good example. So OD obviously will one-shot the illusions, but will not steal int, and it's wasting time. So they're going to go jug. Interesting. So same concept when spinning. OD won't be attacking him for much damage at all. Hopefully they don't make that roam.
Really?
They did it at the major, but
yeah. Oh yeah, the Jugger support. Yeah, the Jugger Ogre.
Yeah, it was really good in theory. Did you watch that game?
Yeah.
It was like an aggro try with Lone Druid.
We were like, we were like, oh shit, MVP's doing it, and then you're like, oh no. Oh, they didn't do it at
they're
all.
not.
No.
I want to ask you guys about the Wisp, right? You guys obviously known for your Wisp play. What's the other support? You obviously pointed out Mirana, right? But if it's not that case, how do you actually make a good Wisp work out via your other support?
Your other support has to be here that can definitely buy the wards and start, or like for at least like 15 minutes, I'd say. Wisp needs a lot of core items. Even like a secondary or third item would be good if you could get it. So you need like a support can lane well usually, because Wisp, he's a good laner, but he's not the greatest in different ways. It's hard to describe it.
He's not active, right?
He's more like he's doing stacks, he's laning with your guy, he doesn't really rotate that well.
Oh wow, that's a wonderful pick. I love the DP choice.
I'm actually really surprised OG did not go with the Tiny here, seeing as it left out, and that's to me is definitely Nozel's best hero for this team.
I can't believe. Okay, let's not talk about Tiny right now. Let's wait till after the event. They go Sven, but it's an interesting draft thus far because Enchantress pretty much owns the entire OG team. They needed that pick, so that's how they're going to deal with the Eng pressure.
Yeah, the CM.
So they'll most likely put the CM Sven bottom, IO OD middle, and then some offlane hero.
I think it's just going to be a straight up safe lane trial lane.
It's just interesting because they're in a weird spot because they've given away their strategy. It's going to be incredibly difficult for them to have any semblance of aggression in this game. So MVP sort of know what's going to happen and what's going to go down here. And I favor them just because they have the Eng pressure, who will most likely just focus on middle. If they can keep DP at about 60-70% of the OD's net worth, I think they're going to run away with the game, and they'll have way more pressure. They just have to prevent the massive ancient stacks, because right now, like, no one's taking the jungle stacks. And as Simon is saying, like, Wisp, we lost a bunch of games on Wisp because you get in situations where it's like, okay, what do? There's not going to be anybody laning bottom. There's going to be an OD middle that he can click with, and Moon's not going to get anything top. So it's going to be really difficult for him to do things because, again, there's no real natural stack taker either, and there's a CM will be taking.
I like this a lot, actually. They opted for the Eng support or the jungler rather than the off on this game. Sort of respecting the CM, I guess, that's a conscious, a good decision. And the Void, I'll say matches up really well against these heroes.
So annoying to play OD because you get hit twice with max Q. You just can't do anything.
True.
But
that's good. And you have the Wisp as well, but it's just like it sort of makes sense with the DP and the Eng.
Oh no, it's still very good. It's just a frustration as an offlaner. You're just like, damn it, I need a mango like just to play my Dota game. But I think that's once again, I just love MVP's draft. If you look at it, I don't know how to explain it, okay? But good Dota drafts are like art, and you can just sort of see how the puzzle's a better metaphor, and you can just see how it fits together. You can see how the team fight's going to go down. DP's running in. There's the Chrono, Blink Lion, tons of damage from Enchantress, creeps microing around. So I favor once again MVP's draft. That was the last pick. Beastmaster. So he's going Iron Talent jungle most likely, but I'm just concerned because I don't see OG being able to utilize the jungle. MVP will. They'll have stronger rotations. They'll take towers faster. They have the dire advantage. I think MVP's got this maybe 70-30, 80-20.
I would agree that MVP has the edge in this game, but OG has a very different win condition in this game. It's more like take the farm, take the stack, survive the game, stall it, and get kills with Beastmaster relocates.
Yep.
And that's the name of the game this time.
Yep. It'll come down to execution, I think. But if MVP plays like they did last game, I think they got this.
All right, guys. Well, before we head into game number 2, if you're still trying to catch up on all the tournament action that's happened so far, or just keep up to date on everything, be sure to check out the Score Esports, the app. You can find it on the iOS App Store as well as the Google Store. Let's get into game number 2, guys. Durka and Blitz, take it away.
Thanks, Cap. Yeah, here we are. MVP against OG. Game number 2 in this best of 3 Blitz. Game number 1, a little bit one-sided, a little bit lopsided score-wise. MVP definitely ran away with it. That's Spectre from QO demolishing through the ranks of OG. But OG had an interesting draft. Game number 1. Game number 2, things look a little more standard for this patch.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. It was really good if that was the last patch. If that was for the Frankfurt Major, I would have been like, wow, OG actually just won this game. But For this game, it felt like they tried to go back to their roots, and it just didn't work. It felt like MVP, they got the heroes that they wanted. Like, Dubu is a good player, but you can definitely see there's a gear shift when he gets to play the Earth Spirit. That he's just so comfortable on the hero. I don't think it's a hero that teams can afford to give him away. And Febby on the line was actually a monster. Like, don't get me wrong, the cores played pretty well, but it was really the two supports that made that lineup work.
Yeah, before the Shanghai Major, MVP Phoenix, they were playing a lot of Dubu Earth Spirit, Dubu Witch Doctor, and they were like his two mainstay heroes that he loved to pick up. While Febby was more on the Enchantress Bounty Hunter, kind of roaming around and controlling the tempo of the map, and really trying to alleviate a lot of the pressure from his laning mates, from the solo lanes. Because that's what they did. They basically ran two roamers, just trying to run around the map. This time, Febby on his Enchantress with the lovely hat there, all shiny, all glistening and glittering with the butterflies and all that. Do you think, well, where do you think he's going to be really applying the most pressure in this game?
Bottom, he's almost always going to help out the Void where he can. And it's going to be the Miracle OD, which I'm pretty excited to see, in all honesty. I'm pretty happy to see Miracle back in the mid lane. And Forev is immediately going to get gone on. They probably don't have the damage to take him out, and this is going to lead to a free bounty rune for QO. None for the deep, none for the OD, and he's going to need all the help he can in a lane like this. Dubu might even just kind of stick up here. But the Juggernaut against the Beastmaster, I think the BM does pretty good, actually.
I kind of like that move. You know, they hit Forever a couple of times, just poking and prodding, and he's in a situation where he either tries to bait out more damage or he time walks it all off, and now he's lost a bit of HP, has to burn through a tango. But we'll have a look at these lanes to begin with. Moon Meander up at top, the Beastmaster with the double boars. As MP's Juggernaut's going to be in a 1v1 for now. Dubu will rotate up there and help his mate, but it's a mid dual lane, Crit and Miracle. OD and Wisp against QO Death Prophet. Man, this is harking back to the TI4 days when QO was just playing Death Prophet non-stop. He definitely loved that hero. But down the bottom lane, Sven for no tail, Fly on the Crystal Maiden, already starting off in the jungle with Forever Void and Febby's Enchantress. Spronking along, but where are your creeps? What are you going to be doing? There's a spawn of a Wild Wing, but not the ideal creep to go roam onto a lane with, huh?
Yeah, he could even use this just to send it mid and start the tornado into that mid lane, try to harass the dual lane. It would do pretty well, and it would help Q out. And that might just be what he goes and does. At bottom, Fly, playing the Crystal Maiden. People often like to pick that CM against that hero, and it does look like that's what he's going to do. The Wild Wing Ripper is going to hide in the tree line. And here it comes.
I mean, it's even better against a dual lane, there's
double the value.
Yeah, double the value for the Tornado back on. If you just put it on the Wisp even, the Spirit Siphon plus Tornado slow, Crit is maybe going to have to waste a tether to get himself away from that, but QO just bullies him back, sends him packing behind the tier 1. And Miracle keeps on going with the last hits, 8 and 4. But the creep waves meet once more, and QO, he's yet to burn through any regen. I think that's something key to point out. They've not actually been able to lay into him too much, and with a second-minute rune, it's gonna be an invis, not the best. Would have loved to have a little bounty rune there, maybe get yourself faster into the bottle. But Crit already has one of them to himself, and he's actually not gonna go. Oh, Fly leaves the bounty rune for him, so Crit can move down there and tick it up, but
QO's gonna meet him down there. He wants to go for the kill right here. He's probably going to get it, actually.
310 against 295.
Yeah.
QO, there's the Spirit Siphon. There's nothing to tether onto. Crit, just go for the Rune Steal. Try and take it up. Maybe denied to Roshan. Maybe get Fly a little bit closer. Oh, he got tether! Dodges across. Fly, always there. Ready to save his buddies. But it's top lane where another movement in. Febby smoked up with a couple of little juicy creeps, and Moon Meander takes a couple of slams to the face. That's your first blood. Swiped down by MP. Juggernaut with a point in Crit already.
That was really well done by Febby. It was an unexpected timing for sure. You don't really expect that, especially the smoke gank from the Enchantress all the way from the camp down here. And he makes his way all the way back up. And Moon Meander was getting a fair amount of levels in farm, so I think that's an okay attempt.
Plus hit bash.
You don't know for sure if you're going to get anything happening mid. If anything, I think he just focuses on both the safe lane and the off lane. Unfortunately, he's going to get spotted out by this ward, which I think they should know the presence of, just because the creep camp isn't spawning. Although I'm not sure if Dubu has checked it out or not.
Moon Meander's moving back and forth as well. Keeping these boards out to try and scout, but it's mid lane where we've got the Astral down onto QO. We can Spirit Siphon away. The damage output from the Arcane Orb is good, but is it going to be good enough? It looks like QO might just drop here with a dive. Miracle going deep, but the Fairy Fire keeps QO alive. The Salve through as well. He's healing up, but it's not going to save him. Miracle, with the help of Crit, I find a kill, and that really does lift the burden of weight off their shoulders a little.
Yeah, and the big thing there was during the time that he went to go contest the rune, he lost out on quite a bit. Because that was a kind of do or die sort of play where he leaves the lane alone, he wants to get the kill, slow down the momentum of the dual lane, but crit, making that clutch play and 24 install, and at the end of that is there's no way that Miracle wasn't going to get that kill, especially with boots already on him. Kyo is still struggling to pick up his bottle alone, and that means it's going to put more pressure on the other lanes from MVP to come up huge for him. As we've seen in the past, Kyo doesn't necessarily have to have the ideal laning phase, but it has to go better than this at least.
For sure. Well, they tried to get in onto this Beastmaster, but Hawk, of course, omnipresent, given all that vision for Moon Meander just to see exactly what they're up to. Febby spent a lot of time across here, actually. Well, Forev down at bot. Got his boots, and we're heading into that ring of regen just to allow him to sustain on this lane a little bit more. But the value that Fly is getting, nearly level 4 in the jungle, he spent a lot of time farming, but also he's so close to the lane that he can come across and annoy Forev out of this. And it looks like it's actually going to be trying and set up for mid. Dubu split out by that ward on the retreat out though. Nothing doing.
I think they're going to need both supports if they're going to do anything. This Wisp OD lane is so strong to run into, just because he's got the wand completed, he's got a Fairy Fire still, the Wisp can heal him up for quite a bit. If crit has gone on for any reason, Miracle's got the Astral Imprisonment, so it's kind of like a 2-layer safety system set up for them, and it's kind of hard to break. If anything, I would like them to just focus on the enemy safe lane, like keep going for Fly and No Tail at bottom if you can, and exploit that. Just accept the fact that Miracle's going to get huge. Try to set up for Chronos on him, get some kills later on, but for now, just try to slow down the safe lane.
Where are you going, Crystal Maiden? Not anywhere fast. Fly. He will tank the gank. I mean, No Tail, maybe not under imminent danger of dying to these guys coming in. But regardless, MVP, can they turn this into a push onto tier 1?
I think it's a little bit difficult, especially if the CM just TP's down. You'd be giving a lot of free XP. And No Tail already pulling his own safe lane with this creep. Stack and pull, pretty good move. And now Q is going to rotate down, and this should definitely signal the tier 1 tower push. I doubt OG respond to this. Moon's not quite level 6. The Wisp isn't 6 yet. They do have 2 Ps on both their heroes though.
You have an OD who's just hit level 6 and he's got a TP, you're right, but No Tail just being dived onto this tower, and I don't think there's any retreat from that. Good Earth Spike will catch him, and Exorcism out from QO will indicate that they'll try and chip away at this tier 1, if not just take it straight up. You do have to deal with the glyph though. And in the meantime, what value is OG getting across the map? In fact, they're getting value on top lane with the roar onto MP Juggernaut. Oh man, without the rest of your team available, easy pickings for OG, and they'll go for the trade-off here, looking for tier 1 up at top.
Yeah, they know that Kyo can't really fight at this point without his ultimate, just because of how hampered he's been in the safe lane. And they know that Forev, even though he does have the Chrono, they won't have the damage to back it up. Jug doesn't pair the best with the Chronos here. He works better when he's able to isolate it out, obviously, with his ultimate. And it's even more important in the level 1 ultimate. That's mainly for the laning phase, or when you can go for the quick pickoffs on a single mid hero or something like that, but looks like that is what they're going to go for, is No Tail's going to get gone on. Dubu's going to get stunned first. Doesn't feel like they'll have the follow-up. He gets the stun, though.
No Tail, Hector's Velomit slashes through, and No Tail dropping low. The little froggy will get dropped.
And those are consecutive deaths by him.
And he rushed the Helm of the Dominator. He doesn't have boots, doesn't have treads. It's Helm into stick. Not exactly the most survivable build for him. He just wants to try and farm and stack up as much as he can. You do see OG actually running through that jungle.
They've got to be careful. OD doesn't have his ultimate, but he's got 4 levels of the Arcane Orb. He will rip through them so quickly. And they know that Dubu doesn't have mana either. I think this is a pretty okay fight if they can grab the angle as Moon Meander. He's coming in. He's got the roar. The vision game too with the Hawk. Double bore setup.
They're looking for the Chrono from Forev though. I don't know if they go aggressively with this or if they try and defensively Chronosphere on the back end. They'll spot out Miracle and he's just going to run himself up to the high ground. MP wants to try and battle through. Forev fakes out the Chronosphere, but he's not going to push it out just yet. With Miracle trapped in, it's solo. The rest of OG, they can position perfectly to take out Dubu and now look for more. Febby roared, and that should be quick kills in succession as 5 versus 5 mid lane. What's going on here? Do the other lanes not exist, or is it just making the most out of the situation for both teams?
I think MVP was just trying to see if they could sneak a free tier 1 tower, but...
Oh, QO.
Oh, he's gonna go down.
QO.
They've got him completely surrounded.
Crypt Swarm from the trees gives away his position. And No Tail slams him to the ground.
Yeah, MVP is being really sloppy right now. They're giving up things that they normally don't. Like, almost every single time that MVP looks for a fight, they try to guarantee themselves ways out, but in that one, they just got completely sandwiched. Really well done by OG, making sure that there was no outs for them, and Miracle's starting to get pretty big. He's got the drums completed. When it comes to the level department, they're not as far ahead as they'd want to be, considering they've just won 2 significant skirmishes, but still the gold is heading upwards for them as Beastmaster almost has the Neckbrook 1.
And you're looking at No Tail now, and he is actually clearing through these stacks. Got another big stack of Ancients, but without the treads. He's only got these brown boots coming out to him, and he's about 500 off the treads. Still needs a fair distance to go before he can actually go and take out the golems and dragons over there towards the ramp up there. But it's going to be MVP realizing the predicament that they're kind of in. You know, the early game lane pressure that they've really necessarily
This would be a big kill for them, though.
Astral is already used, and I think Miracle is just going to get caught straight up. The 4-man rotation in, Miracle just gets drained out by QO.
Long.
Down by Forev.
Yeah, but look how long it takes them to kill him. Like, if there's anybody from OG there, that could have been a turnaround potential, and that has to be slightly concerning for MVP. If they look at that, like, wow, that actually took us so many spells just to be able to knock him down.
I do get a lot of damage onto this tier 2, though. I'm not sure. Do you look to defend this as OG? You've got Glyph to kind of extend this out. OD?
No, just secure your own ancient stack.
Oh, true. You're right. No Tail. He goes straight in for it. Pops the God Strength. And what's that giving him? It's pumping him up very, very quickly. Now on par with the OD and getting closer and closer to the level of the Juggernaut.
Bottom tower has fallen.
They've done quite well for themselves. QO is still using his ults for relevant moments, but OG, it feels like they're splitting the map a lot better than they did in the last game. Nobody is getting picked off unnecessarily. I would say that the OD death was kind of okay, but they're still getting a lot of space on the map, especially since they were able to clear that ancient stack without any issues. It looks like No Tail's going to go for the armlet build. When I talked to both him and Miracle at the major, it seemed like it was the build that they favored over the SNY.
Yeah, we saw a fair amount from Ditira back in the day. He assembles his helm, goes back for the armlet, rebuilds it up, but it's QO that's found Moon Meander, the Roar, back onto him, but Forev is here. Damage output's pretty damn good though from Moon with these Necro units battering away at QO, and the relocate comes in with crit and No Tail. They slam down the DP, and the Astral saves up the Beastmaster. OG, even with the big old Earth Spike out from Dubu, I don't think they're gonna be able to keep themselves alive. MP just being chased out. Sven slowed with a good enchant from Febby though. Well, at least get the Juggernaut out of dodge. But Dubu,
I think they've got the angle on Dubu. They have the ward vision, but
he has no TP.
yeah, he's just going to try to book it out. Miracle's really fast right now. He's got drums plus the boots available. He's going to get stunned up.
Where are you off to, Dubu? I think he looks like he's okay. No point wasting time now for Miracle. And go back to farming, or in fact, as they're pinging out with, oh yeah, of course it is. Yeah, nice rune. Good rune, mates. Get yourself into that Roche pit. Or are they going to try and bait it? Febby. Down onto the low ground, into the river of death and destruction. And he just ceases to exist.
Miracle is hitting way too hard at this phase of the game right now. They have almost nothing that can really deal with him here as MVP. They want to look for it, and they're just making...
Oh, they can see Forev.
A bit of a nuisance as Forev is stuck up here.
Oh, he can jump.
But he's completely out of mana.
Eclipse not gonna hit, but Dubu dealing with the God Strength. Sven, No Tail is booked up alone, but Fly with the Frostbite. Forev jumps across. And there's Sven looking to batter into and beat down the poor little Faceless Void, but they've changed targets. They've seen a juicier prospect is Dubu's Lion. And the squishy poor little guy. Not gonna retreat, but this does delay Roshan. It means the OD don't have a clear and easy avenue to take the Aegis.
Yeah, they still want to be able to contest this MVP. They want to be able to slow this down. They know if there's an Aegis OD, that almost just shuts them out when it comes to timing. But it's already really rough for them as the Sven is caught up quite nicely into the game. He's got second in net worth just behind the Juggernaut, but he's able to do more than the Juggernaut right now just because he has so many heroes that can back him up. OG are going to go for the secure here as they're in a really good position to pick up a lot. Can just get 1 or 2 pickoffs. Might mean the Roshan that they were desperately trying to go for. And with the Wisp, relocate on the ready.
hunting. Especially when you've got, the steroids behind the Sven, the God Strength, the Wisp, increasing that attack speed more and more. MVP, QO. Yeah, you're in trouble, Betty. Oh no, they're relocating as well, and QO, no chance. No chance at all. But you look at MVP, and a lot of their lineup is, control-based. They've got Enchantress for damage through Chrono, but the creep she brings is more sort of control magic damage. The Lion, same kind of story. Just burst people down and keep them held in place. Whereas OG, they can choose one hero, the OD or the Sven. This is the great thing about the Wisp in this scenario, is that there is no single pairing. They can choose one or the other, and if one dies, they've still got a backup plan for all of their damage.
Right now, the OD already picks up the Vid Booster too. I don't know, Dirk. I'm kind of having a hard time seeing how this OD is meant to go down, especially with the help of the Wisp. They're doing a lot of what MVP did in the last game. They're making sure that they're getting the secured kills. They're just kind of boxing them into a hole. MVP, you saw that they were using like 2 ults just to nail single kills, but they were doing it all the time. They were making sure that they were using their spells on cooldown. MVP is going to go for this YOLO Roshan. If this doesn't work out...
Look at Dubu dying. They'll take away the Necro unit. And Febby will allow himself to chip away at Roshan a little bit faster. But Roshan, he's not dying that quickly, and OG potentially position here to try and snipe and steal, maybe even win a team fight with a smoke over from Wisp and Sven. They're trying to buy themselves more time, but I think Moonmeander has to make a move in sooner rather than later. I don't know, do they want to fight as soon as Roshan's dead because they're going to walk in with a Warcry forward? Dupu caught with a stun, but the Chrono catches 3. They've got no tail, Crit and Fly, all both held in, and on the back end, Miracle ripped to shreds by Febby's impetus damage. But now you look at the actual status of the fight, and MVP, what do they have left to give? There's no exorcism, there's no damage output, it's just Febby on the front line. QO, Aegis is gone, and OG haven't lost a soul. They'll chase him down and take him out, and QO, the DP, 3 hit into oblivion. OG, even through the Aegis of the Immortal, even after Roshan is taken by MVP, they don't care.
Miracle with 40 int stolen absolutely demolishes MVP.
Dire's bottom tower.
I brought this up time and time again. You don't have anything to deal with his survivability, and OD hits like a truck. You do not want this guy to be able to survive for as long as he did in this fight. Doesn't even go down. The support of his team is right there. Even with that sick Chrono, they just don't have the follow-up damage. And OG, they're just going to continue to push this advantage. They've got the heroes to deal with MVP's lineup right now, and that was a good Roche attempt by MVP, but OG, they've been all over them.
Yeah, and that smoke from Wisp and Sven, if that hadn't been popped, I wonder how that fight actually pans out. If MVP retreat from the Roche pit with Aegis, then recoup, get Exorcism back off cooldown, and run down a lane. Try and take a tier 2 or even top lane. Tier 1 is still standing. There's gold ready to be taken here by MVP, but just not given any opportunities. As MP's Juggernaut, once upon a time he was top of the net worth, a good grand and a half ahead of everyone else. Now he's actually lagging behind the Sven and OD, overtaking him, and even Moonmeander's Beastmaster catching up with his Necro 2 completed. Necro 3 is halfway towards the 3rd recipe. Borev, on the other hand, this other offlaner, Lads plus Treads, it's decent team fight, but initiation is something that MVP lack without that blink.
Yeah, and without any natural BKB carriers, if you notice, OG's lineup burns through all the mana that MVP has so fast in between the Necro Book, the OD Arcane Orb, and the Sanity's Eclipse. They are going to cut through MVP's lineup quite quickly. MVP, they just don't have a lot of burst damage. They've got the Finger available, but I don't think that's enough right now for this phase of the game, just because the Lion can never get in close enough. And they're going to go for the Smoke. And this is a smoke that absolutely needs to work out for them here.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you look at QO 2, 5, and 0. His Yule Scepter is a pipe dream at this point. They'll run into Sven and... Oh, no, they'll find Crit first. Actually, the Wisp has turned into a frog, but no tail from the high ground. MP. Oh, my God, look at his HP drop. He'll drop the healing ward out to try and save himself up. But QO... Oh, no! Not like this. Crystal Maiden from the high ground, and Febby way below the low ground as the grave is dug. Well. And yep, stun. Actually, Dubu tries to TP out, but no tail. He's there again, ready and waiting with a double kill for Sven. Juggernaut, MP, he finds himself a DD rune, but the only thing he can do with that is farm away jungle creeps.
Yeah. As bad as Game 1 looked for OG, Game 2, they're just as dominant as MVP was in Game 1. Complete reversal so far, just completely outplaying MVP in all these team fights. And I just think this was a much cleaner draft from them. They don't have the best ways to deal with almost any of these heroes, honestly. I don't really know how they're going to cut through that no-tail armlet. They don't have the best sustained damage aside from the exorcism, but we saw how quickly Kyo dies. This is kind of the downside of DP, is that sometimes if you just run at her and she doesn't have the farm to back her ultimate up, you just can't really do anything.
No mucking around here from OG, you know, systematic dismantling of MVP, team fight into tier 2, into basically running into the dire jungle. Look at the balls on Fly! He's solo farming dire jungle. Like, okay, he's got a couple of balls here to safeguard, the nice little bodyguards from Moon Meander, but he knows that MVP are in no position to go up onto high ground. You know, just the fact that they tried to go to Radiant Ancients and take a fight there, being caught with their pants down there, having no vision on the map, pretty much. Like, what do they see? They see bot rune spot, but that's about to expire. Where do you think they look to go? Where do they place observables to give them intelligence, to give them this sort of reconnaissance that they need to actually fight OG?
I'm not really sure, because right now the biggest issue is that they just don't have the net worth to contest. When your DP is only 1k ahead of the Wisp right now, you're in pretty dire straits. And they don't have the heroes that you want to pair with Death Prophet either. Usually you want something that can either offensively initiate. They've got the Chrono, but they don't have the follow-up damage to begin with, and they don't have anything that can save their DP once she gets gone on. Because you need the sustained exorcism if you're going to be able to win one of these engagements. OG, they're going to get aggressive again in the jungle. They've got the Necrobook 3 already from Moon Meander. What a turnaround game for them.
The Hawk Vision, they've seen something's afoot. And QO is going to have no feet left in a second. There's Miracle! Dear Lord, the damage output from this guy. Atos, Blink, Drums, Treads. He has got it all. Well, up on top, MVP realized they've got to be quick on their feet with this. Take the tier 1, try and apply as much pressure as you can. Gain anything. Scraping the bottom of the barrel. That's MP. Ships in the night, they walk past No Tail and crit. That could have been a dodgy scenario there if he spots the Sven. Or if Sven spots him even, but it's high ground time. 20 minutes in Blitz. And OG, they're ready to take it to tier 3.
Yeah, they don't have the glyph available on the side of MVP, but it looks like they do want to fight. They've got to be careful though, and they're looking for the initiation.
He wasted his time walking, even with the Earth Spike. The Roar out already. The buyback from Faceless Void. Forev. Do you want to rejoin this battle? There's no initiation. OG, the quick retreat. They know exactly what's up. They don't want to get caught by a 4-man Chrono. And No Tail's God Strength is going to wear off in about 6 or 7 seconds time. I'm guessing even without God Strength, you're still feeling pretty good here as OG. No Roar either, but you've got OD with the Wisp and that Sanity's Eclipse. Blink Dodge Impetus. Febby. Dragonlance is ready. And even he, a decent amount of farm. 4,000.
Yeah. OG's just playing the slow roll game right now. They know that there's almost no need for them to rush anything or allow MVP to get back into the game. They know that they're kind of cutting off everywhere. The jungle's been effectively shut off for them. They're not getting any stronger when it comes to items on their Death Prophet, who is 3k ahead of... Or no, 300 ahead of the Wisp.
Kiro has been gimped completely.
Yeah, this has not been his DP game.
Nothing much to call his own. Well, at least MP now has the Manta style. I'm gonna try and help him out a little bit there. And same story as No Tail with his Juggernaut in game number 1. Just pushing down lanes with illusions, just bolstering your farm, keeping that GPM up as much as you possibly can to get into your secondary and tertiary items. I think Febby, this Enchantress, definitely has to pull something out of the hat here. You know, Dragonlance into Agnum Scepter, get a good Chrono, because looking at MVP, the majority of the damage, it feels like, comes from that Enchantress. But with the Astral forward, Febby slowed down by the Rod of Atos as well. OG a little bit tentative here with initiating onto an Enchantress, not knowing exactly where MVP are, but he still jumps forward. Miracle, oh man, Fly gets his freezing field cancelled out, and Miracle actually dropping very low, but they've still got the sustain to keep him alive, and the status eclipse as well. Even his damage not enough. Miracle saved on 100 HP, and OG clean up 3, and GG's called straight up Blitz 22-5, and OG say, you know what, game number 1, well, that's a gimme. You can have that. Game number 2, we're going to show you what we're really made of.
And that's got to be a huge confidence booster for OG after getting blown out like they did in game 1. Absolutely demolish MVP in game number 2. That was such a clean victory by them. This time it was them getting away with multiple 5-man kills without losing anybody. Completely shutting out Kyo. Great play by them.
Well, we're going to game 3. Back to the lads at the panel. Cap, take it away.